We are live. What is up, fight nerds and dirty gamblers? I am Eric, and this is Erik Bets Fights. Thanks for being here, y'all. I got 2 viewers in here right now. That's awesome. Yeah, all right, we're going to do Mixed Martial Smarts, folks. This is my weekly show where I ask you some trivia questions about the fighters who will be appearing on this weekend's UFC card. And, you know, they say when it comes to content creation, consistency is key, right? They're like, you know, in order to build an audience, you got to do content consistently. You need to pick a night. You need to pick a time. You need to always be there so that your viewers know you're going to be there. And when it comes to Mixed Martial Smarts, I just do this show whenever I feel like it. I don't have a day I do it. I don't have a time I do it. I just kind of pop on whenever I've got some time. It's a quick little show. I only ask 5 questions. It doesn't take very long. So I just kind of pop on and do it whenever. However, it definitely works a lot better when I've got people here live to actually answer the questions, and I had 2 viewers and they popped out, so clearly they were unimpressed with my intro. I don't blame them. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and jump into the questions anyway. Hey, if you're watching live, go ahead and throw your answers in the comments as we go here. If you're watching this after the fact, either here on the Erik Bets Fights channel or on the Never Hedge Media channel, I'll be posting it there as well. Go ahead and throw your guesses down in the comments. Oh, and yeah, and while we're at it, if you could put a like on this video and subscribe to either the Erik Bets Fights channel or the Never Hedge Media channel, or both if you haven't, I would appreciate that very much. That really does help us out a lot. And also, you know, throwing comments down there below as well gets that algorithm cooking, helps us out. I'm slowly but surely working on building the channel here. You know, once you get to 1,000 subscribers and a certain number of viewing hours, you can monetize the channel. You know, obviously, I'm a regular guy with a family and a full-time job and stuff, and I spend a lot of time doing this. And, you know, I don't intend to ever make a living at it or anything, but I am excited for the day that I'm able to monetize so that maybe I can, you know, pick up a little bit of cash here and there for the time I'm putting in. But anyway, enough about that. Let's go ahead and jump into these trivia questions. Oh, I guess I got this little thing here first that says the stuff that I just said. Please like this video and subscribe to Erik Bets Fights and Never Hedge Media. Play along by dropping your comments down there. I appreciate that. And keep in mind that all of these questions will be related to the fighters appearing on UFC 277 this weekend. So if it's like a question about like which fighter, well, you can pull up that card and look at it and you know it's going to be one of them. So it's kind of like multiple choice in that regard. Question number 1, UFC newcomer Hamdi Abdelwahab, who will make his UFC debut opposite Don'Tale Mayes at UFC 277 this weekend. He wrestled in the 2016 Olympics in Rio as a representative of what country? So yeah, the UFC has a pretty rich history of having former Olympians in wrestling and judo and that sort of thing competing in the UFC. Grind Time popped in here, liked and subscribed. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by. So yeah, what we're looking for here, UFC newcomer Hamdi Abdelwahab, he will make his debut this weekend opposite Don'Tale Mayes. He was an Olympic wrestler, folks. He appeared in the 2016 Olympic Games in Rio as a representative of what country? What country did he wrestle for? Well, you're the only person in here right now, Grind Time, so go ahead and throw out a guess if you've got one. Good old Hamdi Abdelwahab. What country did he wrestle for? Well, I'll tell you who it was, folks. It was Egypt. Yeah, he wrestled for Egypt. And I don't know if you all have watched tape on the guy. I don't want to talk smack on anybody, but he's not very good. And he doesn't really even appear to be, you know how sometimes we've had people who are excellent wrestlers, but they come into MMA and they're not particularly good wrestlers for MMA. I kind of think that might be where Hamdi is at. So, but yeah, we'll see how he does this weekend. Moving on to question number 2. I like this question a lot. Amanda Nunes was the 3rd fighter in UFC history to hold titles in 2 different weight classes simultaneously. Who were the first 2? So in the early days, we had a few fighters who held belts in different weight classes, but not at the same time. I think the first ones were Randy Couture. He held the belt at light heavyweight and heavyweight, and then there was BJ Penn, who held the belt at welterweight and lightweight, but those were not at the same time. So Amanda Nunes was the 3rd fighter in UFC history to hold UFC titles in 2 different weight classes at the same time. Who were the 2 fighters who accomplished that before Amanda Nunes? One of them was at heavyweight and light heavyweight, and one of them would have been at featherweight and lightweight, if those hints help at all. All right, not seeing any guesses coming through. That's probably because there's only one person watching right now. But the answer is Conor McGregor and Daniel Cormier. Yeah, no matter how you feel about Conor McGregor, he will go down in history always as the very first fighter in UFC history to hold 2 different UFC titles simultaneously. He was the first one to do it. And then Daniel Cormier did it. And then Amanda Nunes did it. So she will always be the first woman to have accomplished that. So that's pretty cool. All right, folks, moving on to question number 3. This is a super long one. That probably doesn't, that is not what she said, but that probably doesn't show up on your screen very well because the letters are really small, but I will read it for you. What UFC veteran who has gone 10-7-1 in nearly 9 years with the promotion said this? Now, in my 30s, I'm easing up on the gas, I'm taking in the moments, and I'm doing things more skillfully and with a smile on my face. That's what I was lacking in my 20s. MMA wasn't hard for me, but I thought I had to be miserable. Like I had to cut a tremendous amount of weight, I had to do all these sprints and get beat up, and you didn't have to do that. And so since I took a step back and I started enjoying life and enjoying the process, wins started happening for me. I think more than anything, the biggest hint here is probably that this is a fighter who's 10-7-1 in the organization and has been in the organization for nearly a decade. Which UFC 277 fighter uttered that? And actually, the quote was quite a bit longer. I did sort of cut it down here and there. That's why we've got ellipses and spots there. But that, ladies and gentlemen, was Drew Dober. Yeah, good old Drew Dober. He of the nice chiseled superhero jawline, right? All right, moving on to question number 4 for the UFC 277 edition of Mixed Martial Smarts. What ominous words are tattooed across Derek Lewis's upper chest, right in this area right here? This is an easy one to just look up and cheat, but yeah, if you happen to know off the top of your head, what ominous words are tattooed right there across Derek Lewis's upper chest? We've got 2 viewers in here at the moment. I'm going to wait a second to see if anybody cares to throw a guess out there. I know it takes a little while for when you type in the chat. It takes a little while for stuff to come through too. But all right, I'm not seeing any guesses, so I'm going to let you know. Those words are Knockout King. Yeah, right across his chest there, it says Knockout King. Whenever I see that, Precision Pick says not sure. Yeah, it's one of those. This isn't the first time I've asked a question about a fighter's tattoo, and people didn't know last time either. But yeah, it says Knockout King. Whenever I see that, it reminds me of was it Gilbert Ivel who had the like gravestones tattooed on his arm, and then he got a little hash mark every time he knocked somebody out. I can't remember if that was Gilbert Ivel, but yeah, let me know down in the comments if you remember for sure who that was. So yeah, it was every time he knocked another opponent out, he got another little hash mark tattooed on it there. But yeah, I think that was Gilbert Ivel. He says Derek getting slept this weekend. I don't think that is unlikely. I'm not as convinced of it. I'm not as certain of it as you seem to be, but I do not think that is an unlikely outcome for sure. All right, folks, moving on to the final question of the UFC 277 edition of Mixed Martial Smarts. Which UFC 277 fighter started his professional career 5-6 and has fought in at least 22 different promotions? Again, which UFC 277 fighter started his professional career only 5-6, so had worse than a 500 record in his first 11 fights there. Started his career 5-6 and has fought in at least 22 different promotions. Daz File stopped in. How's it going, Daz? Was watching from the couch. Would have guessed Black Beast. Yeah, that would be cool too. Black Beast. Furio MMA says, I'm pretty sure that's who it was. Yeah, I think it was Gilbert Ivel. Speaking of Gilbert Ivel, if you've never watched it, you guys, there's a fight. I can't remember. I don't remember if it was an MMA fight or if it was a kickboxing match, but I'm sure if you Google it, you can find the clip. But there's a clip out there of Gilbert Ivel kicking the referee. Actually, there's a few instances of him kind of losing his mind a little bit and doing things he shouldn't have done in the cage. But Furio threw out a guess, and it's Anthony Smith. Very good, Furio. It is Anthony Smith. Yeah, it's got to be him, right? I mean, that guy has fought all over the place. I saw Anthony Smith fight. I used to live in Fargo, North Dakota, and I saw Anthony Smith fight Jesse Kid Hercules Forbes. If you remember him, he was on season 3 of Tough. I saw Anthony Smith fight Jesse Forbes at Shields Arena in Fargo, North Dakota in like 2010, I think. And then Anthony Smith got his got his first shot in the UFC in, I think, 2013 against Antonio Braga Neto, and I think he lost by knee bar, if I remember correctly. Then he washed out of the organization for a while. He went like 7-1 on the regionals, and then came back into the UFC in 2016, I think. But anyway, I could be wrong about some of those details, but yeah, cool. That is the final question I've got for you folks for UFC 277. Furio says, I just figured he has like 50 fights. Surely it's him. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, guy fought in a lot of organizations. Definitely one of those dudes who put his time in. Even when he got into the UFC, he didn't necessarily look like he was going to be anything too special. And he's been a bit of an overachiever, I think. But yeah, I like Anthony Smith. I don't think he's going to win his fight this weekend, but I think. I don't know if this is a hot take, but I think he might have a better performance than those odds are suggesting. So, and I'm hoping he does, because I like Anthony Smith. But that's all I got for you, folks. If you could leave a like on this video, that would be awesome. If you could subscribe to the Erik Betts Fights. Actually, let me see if I've got a landing slide here. Oh, I do, right there. Yeah, please like this video. Please subscribe to Never Hedge Media, to MMA Fight Club, and to Erik Betts Fights. I appreciate you stopping by. If you want to find more from me, you can find me on Twitter at Erik Betts Fights, on Instagram at Erik_Betts_Fights. That's about all the promotion I'm going to do for you, folks. Thanks so much for stopping by. Enjoy the fights at UFC 277 this weekend, and I hope you all have a great day. Take care.